Welcome back, everybody, to One-and-Done-athon, day one happening this weekend. We are going into our third run here, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, being run by Musical Daredevil with special guest commentators Zabogo and Paige SR. I got nothing else to say. I'm going to let you take it away. So, Daredevil, please intro your run.
Thanks, Hobbs. So, I got a bit of a story for you all. It is January 2013, and I had just finished watching Awesome Games Done Quick. And there were a lot of amazing runs during Awesome Games Done Quick 2013, and I was a bit sad that it was over. So, I started watching old GDQ VODs. And while I was doing that, I happened across a VOD from GDQ 2011, which was The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind Any %. Now, Morrowind is one of my favorite games of all time, and as I was watching this Any % run, I was starting to think to myself, you know what? This doesn't look too bad. I can do this. So I did. I got on Speed Double's archive, I learned the Any % run, and completed my first ever speed run of Morrowind Any % in a little bit over 6 minutes, about double the time it takes me nowadays. Flash forward about 2 years. It is GDQ 2015, and I had the honor of being selected as a host and donation reader for that event. My first ever hosting shift for Games Done Quick had 4 games in it. Silent Hill, the 2 Splatterhouse games, and The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, all main quests. Since that GDQ, I have returned to the hosting desk about 14 times, including this most recent past SGDQ, and one of those times was also hosting Morrowind for Bethesda Block at SGDQ 16. Of course, now I'm not at the hosting desk, J-Hobbs is, and I am here in the hot seat, running the game that started it all for me in terms of speedrunning, and the game I chose for my single One-and-Done-athon run, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, all main quests. As Hobbs mentioned, I'm not alone, I have 2 co-commentators with me. You two want to introduce yourselves? Nope.
Sounds like we're having a little bit of trouble hearing one of our commentators.
It's a live setting.
While we're working that out, Zabogo, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
My mic should be fixed. Not totally sure what happened other than it set itself back to using the default mic for my computer, which for some reason isn't the mic I use. But yeah, not going to give too much of an intro for me, but I was still... But the first thing I ever commentated at GDQ was Morrowind all main quests. At the same time, Musical Daredevil was hosting for the first time. It's just one of those little small world things.
Little small world. As you can see, this run means a lot to us. So with that, let's just get into the run. Time hasn't started just yet. Instead, we're going to say hi to St. Giub. If any of you played the Dragonborn Skyrim DLC, you know St. Giub as the Eradicator of the Cliff Racers. Very annoying.
Small thing, when the guard walks in, watch his walk cycle, it is art.
I heard them say we've
Great.
reached Morrowind. I'm sure they'll let us go.
Those high-quality 2001 animations.
Look at those hips.
Quiet. Here comes the guard. This is where you get off. Come with me.
Alright, so time is going to start right now, and I have full character control. You can start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go. And right off the bat, we have what is probably the hardest strat in the entire run, and that's getting around that guard. I unfortunately did not get it, but that's okay. It is pretty difficult, pretty precise, and that guard slightly shifts around.
Yeah,
got
that's
another
not
skip
even
here.
That's not even a
Got
meme,
another
that's
skip here. That's
actually
hatch
hard.
skip. Yeah, it is really hard. Now we have character generation. I'm going to be picking Redguard for my race because Redguard gets an ability known as Adrenaline Rush. Not work. There we go. That makes us move slightly faster when we cast that ability, which will be very useful during the beginning of the run. We're going to head into the office, only in the beginning. We're going to head into the office now and start the rest of character generation. We are going to be picking a custom class because we have to level up for a certain quest that's happening a little bit later on. And so we have to pick our skills in order to make sure that happens appropriately. We also have a lot of other dialogue and other things that are happening at the same time.
Yeah, this game is real dense, so brace for all of us to be talking about a mile a minute.
Lots of things happening. This is Birth Sign. I'm going to pick the steed because it makes us move slightly faster, and we like moving faster.
Now, before I stamp these papers,
Gotta go fast.
This information is correct.
So now we have a bit of an AI exploit. I'm going to pick up my papers, and I'm going to pick up a platter off the side of the room and just drop it on the ground. What's going to happen is the guard's going to try and take it back because stealing is wrong, but because it's on the ground, the guard can't do that, so I can just pick it up again and sell it for some gold in a little bit. I'm going to pick up this ring from a barrel. You're supposed to give that ring back to Fargoth, but we're not going to do that because it's worth gold, and Fargoth is slow.
The entirety of, not the entirety, but a lot of this run is just skirting the law.
Yep, pretty much. So this is a rill. We are going to sell the platter and the scrolls, pick up a lockpick, as well as some teleportation scrolls. There are several different kinds of teleportation in Morrowind. There is mark and recall, where you can mark a spot and then recall there later as many times as you want. And then there is intervention, which takes you back to temples and forts. We're going to be using intervention in a little bit. In the meantime, we are heading outside of town to a little bit of an Easter egg. There's a mage named Tarheel who developed some scrolls that allow you to jump really high and really far. Unfortunately, he doesn't know how to use them very well, so he's just going to fall to his death.
Yeah, he forgot to put landing in the spell.
Whoops.
What'd you just do?
Now we've done that, we're going to use intervention to go to Balmora and just jump straight to the end of the game.
Believe it or not, this is not actually a glitch. This is entirely intended. You can do this at home. The hard part is landing in one piece.
Yep,
Yeah, that's the hard part. But luckily we survived and I did not end up in a wall. That's excellent. So we are now at Odrasal. And in Odrasal, we're going to pick up a couple items we need to beat the game. And one of them is here. This is the Dagger Keening.
Yeah, so by doing this
God.
super fast weapon swap, by toggling the weapon on and off in the same frame, the buff will repeatedly reapply and not remove. So Daedel's just set his speed up to 2,935, which is, among other things, fast enough to go through walls.
Yep.
Also, that parkour was very good.
Yeah, I was very happy
awesome
with that parkour.
That parkour is an any percent strat. You don't see it in all main quests, so that was
I'm in the floor
that
for
was
some reason.
incredible.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's not a common one.
No, that's unusual. You alright, game?
When you're not levitating, you can't levitate, right? Because you're
No, I can't
you're on
levitate. There we
you're on
go.
parkour.
Okay.
Also,
was
here
stressful.
comes
think
my
we're good now.
favorite strat. This man gets stabbed with a lockpick for 2.147 billion damage. The beauty of underflow.
That's not an exaggeration, by the way.
No, it is literally the maximum integer you can get in 32-bit.
Anyway, I'm actually now going to exit the game. And what I'm doing in the background is I'm taking my save and I'm transferring it to Game of the Year edition. And my commentators will explain a little bit about why I'm doing that.
Take it away, Zeb.
Yeah, so Morrowind 1.0 is the only version that has that item swap glitch and the only one that has the infinite damage lockpick. So we need those to start the game, but it's actually significantly slower for the rest of the run to run the game in 1.0. We have different menu layouts, different set of glitches. The whole game is a lot faster. It saves like 2 or 3 minutes patching mid-run. So that's called Hybrid. It's a relatively recent discovery, and I think we're the only game where you patch 2 minutes into the run.
Maybe. There might be others out
Yeah,
there.
there's some others out there, I believe. But yeah, we have to switch versions because this glitch isn't in the other one. And
it is
saving
still
lets us
faster.
transfer the stats.
Anyway, we're about to say hi to everyone's favorite merchant, Creeper. First, I'm going to steal some armor out of a crate here, if I can get to it. As Paige mentioned, physics in going through walls is just a suggestion, but there is still some physics, and it can get rather annoying if you don't go through the right wall, and the game just doesn't let you. Anyway, we got to Creeper.
He's creeping.
He's creeping.
Love that dialogue.
The game also does let you move in the black screens while it's loading.
Yep, sure does.
So it is possible to run through a wall before you've even seen the zone load in.
And
Anyway, we
that's
just
gonna
bought
happen.
a boat some arrows. And now we're heading
Yeah, I
back to Balmora, which is the town we jumped to the end of the game from, in order to set up a couple of spells. Gonna buy some intervention first. Not that one. But that's alright. Should have enough gold for this. Gonna buy a couple of others. Now we have a custom spell. You two want to explain this one?
Yeah, so Morrowind has a spell making system, and we're making a custom spell right now that lets us permanently increase an NPC's speed, which we'll use later on to make an escort quest go comically quickly. And by having one of the attributes fortified have no effect and no duration, we make it permanent instead.
Yeah, it makes it basically we can set an NPC's movement speed arbitrarily high in multiples of 200.
I'm waiting.
So we get silly.
Yep.
Of course, that's an extremely safe and stable thing to do to a video game.
Yeah, totally.
Yes. Absolutely. So now we're heading back to Sedanim, which is the town we exited the Census and Excise office from, because right outside of town there is a fetch quest item we need for a bit later on in the main quest. That is the skull here. Come on, game. There we go. This can be a bit annoying to pick up, so you can see I am looking at it and the game's just like, no, you're not.
Also, precise movement is very, very difficult with this speed.
There we go.
Like,
Anyway, we're heading back to Balmora, where we're talking to Caius, who is the first quest giver in the main quest. Caius is going to give us a quest to get a little bit of information from an NPC. But before we can get that information, we have to get another fetch quest item that's a little bit outside of town over here.
I just noticed on your buff bar, are you diseased?
Looks like I am diseased, unfortunately.
Ooh.
So that may mess up some dialogue a bit later. It's alright, I got a backup save in case that happens. Yeah, that Bone Walker does cause problems. That was in that tomb.
Just one of those runs where random chance of illness can really ruin your run.
It really can.
The other thing that can really ruin your run is accidentally touching your boss's pillow. He lets you sleep in his bed, but if you touch his pillow, it ends the run because he gets mad at you.
run.
Because he thinks you stole the pillow. Nothing but the most
Just wanted to
consistent
borrow
gameplay
it.
here.
Anyway, now we are doing the level up that we are going to need for a
Are we
quest.
crashed?
A couple of quests from now. This is not the actual level up. We are just setting up for that.
This is the load that gave us problems earlier, too. It's just... This one does not like loading.
Okay. Let's see. We're going to load the safety save. Where is it? Pre-training. There we go. That will also clear our disease, thankfully.
Yeah, some people will just full-on not talk to you if you're diseased.
Or they'll
Some of them
change
are
what they
quest
say, which
NPCs.
changes... Yeah, that also changes the menu layouts, and since precisely clicking dialogue is so important, even a little shift in the menuing can really screw a run up.
Yeah, it really can. Like, there's one NPC where if you are diseased and you talk to them, you actually can't progress a quest. And good, this game did not crash, despite the fact that it was trying to tell me it was crashed, but
Yeah.
that's Windows for you.
And
Doors give me
creation
problems.
and
Doors are the enemy in this run. I am not upstairs. I need to be.
Talk to this one.
There you are.
Yeah, so this is just
Get a couple
wrapping up
items.
the setup splits, right? We're just grabbing a few more spells and bits.
Well, so this was one of the quests where we turn in the skull that we got out in the cave outside of Sedanim. Now I'm going to buy those couple spells, and that is one of them.
A little
Bit
bit
of
of
safety
menuing
strat.
and inventory management.
Yep. So now we're going to travel to the town of Albrun, where we set up for another glitch. You two want to talk about that one?
Yeah, this is my favorite glitch in Morrowind, actually. So we're gonna use a spell called Command Humanoid, which turns hostile NPCs friendly or neutral NPCs friendly. And it was discovered that if you hit an escort NPC with it twice in rapid succession, it will overflow that same variable and make them think you finished the escort quest. So we are going to be going around the world hitting people with our shoes in order to make them think we've solved their problems.
It's such a
because
good
this is
glitch.
a normal speedrun. It's my favorite glitch in the run. We're going to use it
It's
to get someone to
great.
be married later on. We're going to use it to save an Argonian from racists in a bar. It's really just a wonderful, wonderful piece of tech.
Anyway, we just got another quest from Caius, and that quest is to go to the city of Vivek in order to get information from a few NPCs. If I can talk to the Strider operator there we go. And we're actually going to use those shoes right away in order to skip an escort quest.
Yeah, you used to have to take the Sargonian and like buff their speed and run them across the zone, but now we just hit them twice with the shoes and they're cool. And they tell us about cults.
Quest over. This next NPC we need to get information from. They are in a bit of trouble. They need to pay a little bit on their taxes, but if we just kill the tax man, then that solves that problem, I guess. And then they will give us the information we need.
That's the fun
And
one
as
with
is true-
Morrowind. There's actually there are a lot of different ways to go over a lot of quests. And this is just the fastest way to do that one. And now we go talk to our friend the Sewer Khajiit. We won't see her
Those
again.
Cat has
6,000
cults
cult.
if you have coin.
We will never see her again.
Nope. Now we're going to head to the library where we're going to talk to Mara Milo, who's going to give us some more information. She's going to
If
tell
we
us
can
to
get
grab
past
a
this
book.
guy.
Yes, this guard sucks. Come on. Wow. I cannot get to this door at all.
We can go through any wall in the world, but try walking around a person and you're not going to have a bad time.
Wow, this is...
something.
I've never had this much trouble with this door before.
Has this never happened before?
I would say this is a never happened before moment. You can add it to the counter.
Hey.
Okay, finally. Wow.
Okay.
So,
And this
we're
is
gonna talk
a
to Mira
lower
Milo.
speed roll than
Yeah.
normal.
And Miramon is going to tell us to get a book, which is right here. Stealing is wrong. They're going to catch us, but we're way too fast for the guards anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
So if you're keeping
We've also
tally, that
inflated
makes, if you're keeping tally, that makes 3 ways so far to evade arrest.
Our luck
Kai's-
skill is so high they can't damage us anyway.
So Kaius gave us another quest, and that is, what do you know to get more information? Come on, game. Game, you all right? There we go.
Special trip just for you.
We're going
It's
to
really
get the
not liking
information.
me right now.
No, it really isn't. I wasn't even colliding into anything, just air. Yet, it didn't work. Anyway, this is Sora Zanzubani, who's going to tell us about a group called the Ashlanders, who are way out in the wilderness. And now that we've gotten that information, Kaius is finally going to tell us what's going on. See, it turns out the Emperor, who is played by Patrick Stewart in Oblivion, believes we may be the reincarnation of an ancient war general from thousands of years ago. And if that is the case, we have a very important destiny to fulfill. So we're actually going to go out and talk to the Ashlanders, who we just got some information about, and so they can tell us a bit more about our destiny and how to fulfill it. First, we
This
have
game
another
is
fetch
definitely
quest.
not inspired by Dune.
At all.
Gotta mark outside the cave first. Goodbye, Guar. You're not gonna be a problem.
Aw. So cute.
Ruined my boots, though. So in here is a ghost that has a bow we need. I'm gonna grab it from that. There you are. And now we're gonna go talk to the Ashlanders. Oh goodness, there were 2 Guar out there. And a Cliff Racer. I'm too fast for all of them, though.
They're the best boys.
Yep. So now that we have come here to the Ashlander camp, we have some important courtesies to observe, namely bribing that guy 200 gold. Now we can talk to the leader, who is going to tell us about our destiny. Also, I have to mark here, not levitate. There we go. Now we're going to talk to the Wise Woman. The Wise Woman is going to tell us is that we haven't quite fulfilled our destiny yet, but we have the potential to do that. Now we have what would be a very long series of quests in order to find the location of a certain cave, but because we're speedrunners, we know exactly where that cave is already.
Yep.
Yeah,
It
so it
is
turns
right
out
over
all we
here.
had to do was
Good.
all we had to do was nap until 6 a.m. And
Exactly.
then find ourselves at this hidden door.
Yeah. So the cave's right about here.
And now we're the Messiah.
Not quite yet, but
Not quite. We're going to get there.
Well, Azura recognizes us. That's all that matters.
true.
Yeah, that's all
we
that
are
matters.
the
Now everyone else
Messiah.
does
We just
too.
haven't convinced people we're the Messiah.
Yep. Door. There we go. So what picking up that ring did, in addition to having people recognize us as the Messiah, is it also set up the rest of the main quest. We have to have all 4 Ashlander camps name us Nerevarine, and all 3 of the Great Houses name us Hortator. Killing that vampire I just killed was part of one of the Nerevarine quests. This is the Zainab camp. We're not quite done with them yet. In order to be named Nerevarine, we have to get the leader a bride, which we will take care of later. For now, we are going to take care of the Hortator quest. In order to be named Hortator of any of the great houses, you have to have all of the councilors vote for you to be named Hortator. Where am I going? There we are.
Found it.
Found
Kinda.
it. Kinda.
Come on.
Found here.
You can do it.
Yes.
Hey.
In the door.
Kind of a funny angle in there.
Levitate. So, every councilor has to vote for you to be named Hortator. It has to be unanimous. But if you just kill the councilor, their vote doesn't actually matter. So it's a great way to do this quickly. And now we are going to skip another escort quest for the Ahamusa Nerevarine. This would be a very annoying escort quest, but with our Shoes of Instapass, we can take care of that fairly quickly.
Yeah, this is one of the long escort quests that this skips.
So now we are back at the Ursulaku camp. They already like us, so they're just going to name us Nerevarine, no problem.
It is kind of disappointing. We used to make this NPC fast enough to run on water, if memory serves.
Yeah.
And
they have water walking.
she'd get like stuck fighting random fish. It was a lot.
I loved it, but it was terrible.
Yes, just trying to cast down the fish that were below you. Anyway, now we are on to the Redoran Hortator quest. The way this quest works is that the head of House Redoran has kidnapped the son of another counselor. And so what we need to do is we need to rescue that son, and that counselor is going to garner favor with all the other ones except that one. And we'll take care of the last one later.
So that was that spell that we made earlier that's going to make this guy really fast. He's really fast now. And a side effect of him being really fast is that sometimes he gets stuck on random objects. So this split is really inconsistent. Sometimes he does exactly what you want, and sometimes he spends like 30, 40 seconds just walking into banisters, and you're never quite sure which one you're going to get.
Yep, I've lost PBs, I've lost runs. Looks like it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that one looked all right.
3 blessings to you. Thank you. This is
Yeah, he made it. That was really, he really cooperated there.
Yeah, that was very good.
Very good of him. But again, there's no way to predict how it will go. Sometimes you literally have to go there and like take a nap and repeatedly rest to reset the guard cycles so he can find a path.
To answer question in chat real quick, it's by stacking the stats are obtained by stacking the Keening and Sunder buffs, just infinitely.
Well, finitely, but a lot.
We can do it infinitely.
Well, the game crashes at about 9,000 speed, so
Yes.
you do have an upper limit of what the engine can handle.
Game's a coward.
I mean, the game crashes anyway, but it also crashes at 9,000 speed. That's one of the easier ways to get the game to crash.
Yeah.
This game famously had a QA team of 1 and shipped with a CD of dev tools so that you could fix any problems that you found in retail.
Yeah.
Shout out to the unofficial patches.
Shoutouts to the modding community being just handed the ultimate power of modding.
Yeah, shout out to early 2000s Bethesda for going all in on making a game this weird and then basically not testing it at all.
Yep.
So anyway, we have now finished House Redoran. This is the head of House Redoran. He's not too hot on this whole Hortator business, so he's going to challenge us to a duel to the death. We'll see how that works out for him in a little bit. In the meantime, we have a bit of a diversion, because Caius and his Blades agents have discovered a 6th house base right outside of Balmora. The 6th house are really the main villains of Morrowind, and their leader Dagoth is who we are going to be taking care of towards the end of the main quest. We're just going to head straight out there to the base.
This is another one of those like kind of awkward ones to get down to.
Yeah.
Well, the 6th house are notable for a couple of reasons. The main one of which is that they have a strange disease that is also a dream and a poem and turns your face into an octopus. And for plot reasons, we need to catch it.
And in fact, we did just catch it.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but my face turning into an octopus sounds fun.
But then after that, the Daga Third takes over your nightmares and turns you into a walking puppet. So
Yeah.
pros and cons.
Trade-offs.
Fair price to pay to be Davy Jones for a bit.
Anyway, now that we have been infected with this disease, we're just going to keep on going with the Nerevarine quest. And we're going to head out to the Erebeniumsum Nerevarine tribe, or Erebeniumsum tribe. Now, the Erebeniumsum don't really like this whole Nerevarine business. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kill all the leaders of this tribe, make someone else the leader, and they're going to name us Nerevarine instead.
Politics.
Politics.
and some clothing theft.
Oh, I
I
did
gotta
not
say,
wait,
Daredevil, you are the only person I know who actually says all of the names of all of the various tribes in Dwemer Ruins accurately. I definitely don't.
I played this game a lot casually. I wasn't kidding in the beginning when I said it's my favorite game of all time.
I mean, it's my favorite game of all time too, but I'm pretty sure I just call these guys the Urban Urbans or something like that.
Urban
whenever it's
Urbans.
streaming.
That's close, I guess.
Arabetta.
Anyway, this is the wise woman who is going to tell us the whole plot that I just described. Now we're going to talk to this NPC and make them the head. They kind of don't want to be, so we're going to yell at them a bunch and give them the clothing we stole, and then they're like, all right, you can be Nervrine now. Leave me alone.
You took my dead friend's shirt. I guess I'm the chief now.
Well, they weren't really friends.
No, just bullied him into being the leader.
Yep. Anyway, now that we've done that, let's see if we can get this corpus taken care of. Turns out Kai's found out about a mage who it may have discovered a cure for corpus. The problem is everyone they've given it to has died. But I mean, what do we really have to lose, really? Sure, your face may turn to an octopus, but later on you die as well. So, you know, let's try and get this taken care of. This is also the worst place to navigate in the entire run. Mm-hmm. It has to do with collision, how it's modeled, and all that stuff. Telfir is the absolute worst. That's the last living dwarf, by the way. If any of you played Skyrim, you know what a big deal it is that we get to talk to a dwarf in this game.
Yeah, that is the last dwarf.
You'll notice that on some of the fiddly navigation bits, Daredevil toggles to third person. It slows you down and makes your character a lot easier to control. So on these bits where getting stuck in terrain is a very real possibility, going third person is pretty key.
So anyway, we have just taken the potion, and what do you know? It works on us, the main character of all people. And actually, being able to be cured of corpus is part of our destiny as Nervrine. That right there was Neloth. Don't worry about the fact that Neloth is in the Dragonborn DLC. He is very much dead. This is Gothrin in here. If I can get through this door. There we go. So Gothrin, you are actually supposed to kill as part of the main quest. He will never accept you as Hortator, and the game actually tells you you need to kill Gothrin to complete the quest. This is a door I had trouble with during practice.
But yeah, so you'll notice that whenever Daredevil's killing one of these fools, he actually sticks around and waits for them to finish keeling over because the game doesn't update them as dead until after their death animation is finished playing, and it can lock us out of the final quest of the game.
Yeah. It's rather annoying when you get there, it's like, oh, someone didn't die.
And you have to fly back to the tower and watch someone... You don't have to damage them again because their health is still at 0. But you have to watch them play their death animation again. You, like, walk in the room, they go, ugh! And you're like, oh, cool, that was the guy I shot too fast.
Why walk when you can ride?
Yep, that's a run killer right there. Anyway, now that we've done that, we can head back to Kai's for Kai's final quest. See, it turns out Milo, who we met in the library earlier, is part of a faction known as the Dissident Priests. And the Dissident Priests have an alternate account of the general we are the reincarnation of, but the temple doesn't really like that, and so they're persecuting that faction and have put Milo in jail. This is the head of the final of the Great Houses, House Halalu. He is allied with the 6th House in Dagoth Ur, so we have to kill him as part of the main quest.
I'm still amazed you can say Hlalu without saying it weird.
Halalu?
Yeah, I can't not say it in a weird voice, just Hlalu.
This is what I was saying. Is that Daredevil's the only person on Earth who can actually pronounce every word in Morrowind.
Yes, but I cannot go through doors, so, you know, trade-offs.
No one can go through doors in Morrowind.
Anyway, now that we have killed the head of... okay, good, I'm not stuck in the chairs. Now that we have killed the head of House Redoran, all the counselors of House Redoran are scared of us, and so they will name us Hortator no problem.
Where would you like?
This is the guy who challenged us to the duel earlier. He's an extremely powerful NPC. He's very, very difficult to kill. This is going to be a tense fight, so...
Goodbye.
Cool. It's over.
Goodbye forever. So in here is another council of House Halalu, Yingling Half-Troll, if I can get through the door. There we go. Yingling Half-Troll wants us to give him 1,000 gold, which is kind of a lot, so we're just going to kill him if I can make this shot.
We actually have 1,000 gold. It's just faster to shoot him.
Next counselor is Drambero. All we have to do is find him. He's right over here.
May you find me worthy of your attention.
We have another counselor over here who is very easy to miss because they're kind of out of the way.
There's in this random little house on a hill.
And now we can break Milo out of jail.
Someone in chat saying this game is drugs. No, that's Oblivion all main quests.
This game is drugs, though. Michael Kirkbride has some notable quotes about the development of this game.
Oh, yeah.
And how it was written.
Sure does. Door? Okay. So here's Milo. Once we get her out of here with the scrolls we picked up earlier, we are going to go to the base of the Dissident Priest. And there they are going to give us that alternate account. Don't crash game, thank you.
Yo, Paige,
More
do we get to go
collision
fishing?
I wish we could.
Yeah, you two really like
good.
fishing.
Yeah, I might go out after we're done.
My rest has been
Oh, no.
interrupted by a
God.
Palma Forager. Happens all the time.
Oh, okay, cool. You got the door, though.
Yeah, I got the door. Actually, I didn't get the door. Now I got the
There we
door.
go.
If your rest is interrupted too early, that door can be closed, and it's a really inconsistent clip to get through to it.
Yeah, it's really hard to do. So anyway, we got that, and now we can turn in all of the Hortator quests. First, we're going to speak to the last living counselor of House Tovani, that is Mistress Thorana. She's a bit hard of hearing and a bit elderly, so she's going to start rambling about spiders and eggs and other things.
But we get her vote anyway, so...
Yep.
Welcome, friend. You're nearly a legend around
What
here.
do you ask,
Please.
master?
Best voice
Anyway,
acting
that's that
you
quest
gave.
completed. We can also turn in House Redoran. It turns out the new head of House Redoran, since we killed the old one, is actually the counselor whose son we rescued, so we have their support quite easily.
He will never ask us why his child is now really fast.
Nope.
It just happens.
He just got really, really good at running.
And then we have the final of the
Entirely
three houses,
legitimately.
House Lalu. We're going to speak to an NPC named Crassius Curio, who is a rather interesting character. Also a bit of a playwright, if you happen upon that book in Skyrim.
Let's set aside our rivalries and talk, shall we?
And now that we have done that, we have completed the Hortator and Nervring quests, so now we get to meet with the false god Vivek. Because it turns out Vivek has decided that the time has come to stop being a false god and to actually defeat Dagoth Ur once and for all.
And by actually defeat, we mean make us actually defeat.
Yes. We're going to do all the work for Vivek. That is just going to float here.
Where would you like to go?
Gravity really
And now
is
that
a
we've done that-
suggestion in this game.
Now that we've done that, we have completed all of the requirements of the main quest. And so we can actually head back to the center of the map and defeat Dagoth Ur, the final boss.
So yeah, so we did the first 2 minutes of any percent were the first 2 minutes of this run, and it's time for the last 30 seconds of any percent. So time is probably coming up pretty soon. Blink and you will miss it.
Yes.
And get ready for some extremely good voice acting.
This is the only thing in the game that takes more than one hit during the run, isn't it?
Pretty much, unless you forget to set the difficulty like I did during a practice run.
If your bow starts to break, if you use the same weapon too much, you can break it with your high strength stat.
And time.
How could you be so naive?
Whoa.
There is no escape.
Yay.
No
You no
recall or
longer
intervention
bear the
can work
burden
in
of
this
prophecy.
place.
You
Come,
have achieved
lay down
your
your
destiny.
weapon.
God, I love Morrowind.
You
It is
are
not too late
It's
for
really
your
good.
mercy.
Yes. Fun fact, that was 2 lines of dialogue at the same time. If you do any percent, you get 3. Anyway, not a great run. Had a lot of trouble with collisions outside the library of Vivek. That was bizarre.
Yeah, but you did nail parkour.
I did nail parkour. That was good. Anyway, got a bunch of shout-outs to give. First of all, a huge shout-out to my 2 co-commentators for trying to get as much commentary as you could in the very short window you have to do it. As you can see, this run is very, very dense, and there is so much stuff to talk about and no time to do it. You two want to say anything?
I mean, I just want to.
God.
There we go. We're doing it again.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, obviously, for inviting me to do this, but also to the other 2 people in the Morrowind speedrunning community. It's a small but wonderful family of people who play this really weird game really fast, and I'm really grateful to all of you. And thank you for having me.
I mean, I'm just really glad to be here. It's been like this. Like I said, this game was my first experience, and this category was my first experience commentating on GDQ. So it's really meaningful to get to do it again. But oh man, is this game a trip?
It sure is. And if any of you would like to speedrun this game for yourself, learning it from GDQ like I did, you can check out any of the speedrun.com pages. There is a link to our Discord in there. We don't quite have the most up-to-date tutorial documentation yet. Some weekend I won't be busy and fix that. But in the meantime, we got plenty of other runs. And if you would like to see even more Elder Scrolls from me, you can check me out at twitch.tv/musicaldaredevil. I do speedruns, including the other games in the Elder Scrolls Anthology, except Daggerfall, which I'm hoping to learn next week, and I occasionally do music things as well. I also run the Twitch channel for the Washington Metropolitan Gamer Symphony Orchestra, WMGSO, where we stream concerts and gameplay. With that, any of you two have any final words?
No,
Thanks
I'm
for
good.
having me.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Goodbye forever.
Thank you so much. And yeah, goodbye forever, Musical Daredevil. Again, for anybody who's tuning in a little bit late with One-and-Done-athon, these runners get their chance to show off their one run, and then they will never be in it again. So here we go. Goodbye forever, Musical Daredevil. I'm going to go and erase your name from the whiteboard, which is, of course, the most permanent of records. We all know this. Your name is longer, so it's taking longer to erase. It's beautiful. You get to be here for just a little bit longer.
Just a little bit.
But no, we are going to go to a break, folks. And then when we come back, you're ready for another exciting run. This is going to be one of our longer runs, an hour 40 estimate for Memoirs of Magic by Teddy Roz. Cool Doom-esque looking game. I can't really even fully explain it. You just got to see it. It was a treat to see during the game submission, selection process. So please stick around for that. We'll be back in a few minutes.